Although Taylor Swift has been keeping a low profile musically over the past couple of years, she's back with a new music video that's already destroyed YouTube's viewing records for a solo artist, with more than 100 million views in under a week. And when she says on her new song that there is no one like her, well, she's not really lying, at least when it comes to her lifestyle. Taylor is pretty fly, and by that I mean she's got not one but two private jets that could run up to $40 million a piece. And when she's on the ground, she's still rolling around in style in one of her many cars, including a 7-speed Audi R8 worth around $200K. Also a Porsche 911 Turbo worth around 150 grand. And recently there was another car in Taylor's garage as a stolen car crashed into the front gates of her Rhode Island home after a wild police chase. Like Taylor once said, nothing good starts in a getaway car. And while the front gate of her Rhode Island estate might be a little banged up, it's no problem for Swift because she's also a real estate mogul owning $84 million worth of properties, including her $25 million Beverly Hills mansion and her $20 million New York penthouse. According to Celebrity Net Worth, T Swift is worth $400 million, raking in an estimated $150 million per year. Now, a few years ago, it was estimated that Taylor would become a billionaire by the time she turned 30. Well, she turned 30 this year, and although she's only about halfway there, with new music and a new tour to follow, it seems like T Swift might reach that goal before the ripe old age of 31. She's also been known to pick herself up some elaborate gifts on her very own birthday. Now, can you guess what she spent $100,000 on for her 24th birthday? Sound off in the comments down below. The answer will be at the end of this video. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden with The Rich Life of Taylor Swift, and we've recently covered Wiz Khalifa as well as some YouTubers like PewDiePie and Mr. Beast. But we want to hear from you guys in the comments down below on who we document next. Alright, I'll see you guys after the intro. By the way, we've been doing a lot of these on our Spanish channel, and they've been blowing up. Taylor Swift was born on December 13th, 1989 in Reading, Pennsylvania, to her father Scott Kingsley Swift and her mother Andrea. Her father was a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch and her mother was a marketing executive. So Swift, she saw success in her family from an early age. In her younger years, they were spent on the family's Christmas tree farm in Wyoming. Yeah, that's apparently a real thing. But Swift, she sees a different vision for herself. Swift's grandmother was a professional opera singer, and Taylor was drawn to performing as a child. Taylor started singing at local events by the age of 10 and even sang the Star-Spangled Banner at a Philadelphia 76ers game at the age of 11. By 12, she was writing her own songs on the guitar after a computer repairman, well, he taught her some chords. Shout out to that guy. Now, Taylor knew that she wanted to be a country music star and would often visit the mecca of country music, Nashville, to, try and get a record deal. And while her early demo tapes didn't get her any notice at first, after her parents signed her on with a big New York-based music manager, well, Taylor eventually signed to RCA through their artist development program. She was going back and forth to Nashville with her mom so much that eventually her family moved to Tennessee. But her childhood, it didn't last very long because after crushing a performance at a showcase at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, well, she was spotted by Scott Borchetta, who signed her to a deal with Big Machine Records, and she became the youngest ever songwriter to sign a deal with Sony. By 16, she was already approaching superstar status as her single Tim McGraw landed in the top 10 in the country charts. And since then, she's received numerous platinum plaques, #1 hits, and accolades, from Grammys to VMAs. Although, not everyone agreed with her, with all her victories. Remember this?
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Although according to Kanye, well, that moment, it only made her more famous.
You know how many times MTV ran that footage again? Because it got them more ratings. You know how many times they announced Taylor was gonna give me the award? Because it got them more ratings.
All the acknowledgement for her hard work is nice, but it's Taylor's tours that bring in the majority of her cash. Her very first tour in 2009 earned her roughly $75 million, with 1.2 million tickets sold over the course of 118 shows. And from there, well, her tours, they only got bigger and more lucrative. Her Reputation Stadium tour brought her in $266.1 million, making it the highest grossing tour in US history. The tour sold over 2 million tickets, and on average, well, Billboard estimates that she brings in $17 of merchandise purchase per ticket. So with 2 million tickets, well, that's another $34 million. Not to mention her online merch store that frequently launches new collections, including $40 t-shirts, $65 sweaters, and $30 hats. She also filmed a Netflix documentary to capture the Reputation tour, and although we don't know the exact amount the deal was worth, well, we've got to assume it was at least a few $1,000,000. She recently signed one of the most important deals in recent music business history with Universal Music Group, where she was able to get control of all her own masters. She also bargained for other artists by negotiating a deal where UMG has to share proceeds from their stake in Spotify with the musicians on their label. And artists would be getting a pretty nice payout thanks to T-Swift, regardless of how low the percentage is, because UMG's stake is worth about $1 billion in the company. Now, this comes after she boycotted Spotify and criticized Apple Music earlier in her career due to their low artist royalties. So although she's rich, well, she's definitely using her influence to make sure her and her contemporaries, well, they're all getting a fair piece of the pie. Now, if you think we're done talking about her earnings, well, we're just getting started. Of course, T-Swift, she also has them sponsorships. Now, over the years, she's partnered with basically every major brand you could possibly think of, so let's run through a list of some of them. There's Keds, there's AT&T, Diet Coke, CoverGirl, UPS, ABC, Ticketmaster, Comcast, American Express, Target, and Taylor was even a global welcome ambassador for New York City. And like, she's not even from there. Oh well. Alright, we get it. The girl makes a lot of money, but how she spends it is even more interesting. Now, Taylor, she owns 2 private jets. The first, a Dassault Breguet Mystère Falcon 900. And this is worth around $40 million. It's so expensive I can't even pronounce it. Now, she bought that one in 2011 and it's got 12 seats, so there's plenty of room for an entourage. Now, on the nose of the jet, the number 13 is painted, which is her favorite number, and the same number that she draws on her hand before every show for good luck. On the engine, you can see N898TS written, with the 89 standing for her birth year. Now, the second number 8 being the number of #1 singles she had at the time of purchase. And TS, well, it stands for, you guessed it, This Sucks. I'm kidding. Of course, it stands for Taylor Swift. But just a year later, Swift got another private jet, a Dassault Falcon 50, which is a little cheaper, with prices online ranging from $1 to $6 million. Now, these jets are good for a short flight and have 9 seats for passengers. In terms of cars, she's got a few of them. She's got a white Audi R8, a Porsche 911, and keeping it country, an all-pink Chevy Silverado. She's also been spotted hopping out of a Cadillac Escalade, which will run her over $100,000. But her first ever splurge was buying the car that Regina George from Mean Girls drove around in. It's a Lexus SC430, and Swift, she told The Guardian that it was sort of a revenge purchase.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
More than cars though, T-Swift, she loves her properties. She reportedly has an $84 million real estate portfolio that includes 8 properties in 4 different states. This includes her $25 million mansion in Beverly Hills. The house is over 10,000 square feet with 7 bedrooms and 10 baths. Apparently, she plans to turn the house into a historic landmark one day soon. The Beverly Hills Cultural Heritage Commission has even voted in favor of it. The home was previously owned by movie icon Samuel Goldwyn. So Swift and her team, well, they plan to restore the home to as close to its original state as possible. She also has a $20 million New York penthouse. Now, this place, it was apparently previously owned by the Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson. I guess she only lives in places that were good enough for Hollywood's finest. I don't know. And since Taylor loves New York so much, well, she recently bought an entire NYC block in Tribeca for close to $50 million. And here is her Rhode Island mansion worth $6 million, sitting at 12,000 square feet. Although I think she'll be needing a front gate. Or getting it fixed at least. These go along with her Nashville pads, which include a 3,240 square foot, $3 million condo, and a 5,600 square foot estate worth around $3 million as well. But Taylor is generous with her money, as she also donates a lot of it back to worthy causes. Recently, she gave away $113,000 to an LGBTQ advocacy group called the Tennessee Equality Project. She even bought a homeless fan and her entire family a house. Now, the fan was 8 months pregnant when she met the singer, and Taylor felt connected enough to her story to help her out. The craziest part about it is that she didn't even publicize it herself. Good stuff, Taylor. And on her 24th birthday, well, she donated $100,000 to the Nashville Symphony. So it's probably not like as lavish of a purchase as you may have guessed, but that's the answer to your question off the top. Alright guys, that's all I got for you in this episode of The Rich Life. My name, of course, is Michael McCrutton. We need you guys to let us know who to document next in the comments down below! And I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!